Hi, 22nd of August 2022 vlog. I'm still sick, but I feel better, so I'm climbing out of it. Yesterday I felt really bad. Yesterday I felt probably about as much worse than the day before. Then would I feel better than yesterday? But maybe I'm a little bit healthier today than I was day before yesterday when I did the video, but I'm still pretty much sick. But I can feel that I'm getting better. So yesterday I slept. I was kind of up all night, just in bed, sweating my ass off, like sweating crazy. I need to switch out my sheets. And so then I slept in until like noon or whatever, and then I got up when my mom called. And then but then I sat down on the couch and just kind of like sat there. I think I was watching just different things on TV, like bits and pieces of like movie scenes, and I can't remember any of the ones that I saw, like action stuff. And then war documentaries and stuff, war videos, planes and stuff. But like watching like 1 minute into something and then skipping through it. So you don't really have to watch anything anymore. You just kind of skip through and you're like, ooh, there's a cool part, and then you hit pause. So I was just doing that, and then like maybe a mix between that and just kind of like sitting there like brain dead. Then my mom came over and brought me stuff, so I didn't have to leave the house. She brought me ground chicken for my tegu, because my tegu didn't eat day before yesterday because I didn't have food for it. It ran out, and then I remembered too late. I mean, the store was still open, but I didn't want to go there. And then she brought me like fruit juice and soup, vegetable soup, ramen noodles, some Chinese herb for getting better, and then even hung out with me for like a half hour. Well, and then she thinks I have COVID because she's had it twice. She's tested positive for it twice. But I took the test again yesterday and it said negative, so I need to clean up my place. So I didn't do anything, a single thing yesterday as far as cleaning and organizing. I was doing a little bit of cleaning and organizing this morning. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you the state of my deck. So that's where my deck is. It's like way better than it's been for a long time. So I'll clean this today. Hopefully it won't get me sick again as I do it. Overstraining myself. So, and then clean the inside of my house. I'm gonna top off my wood floors because they're getting caked with a bunch of like ferret shit and fused ferret litter to the floor from spilling the ferret litter out and then peeing on it. If you don't let your ferrets spill the ferret litter all over the wood floor and then pee on it and then let it dry, because then it fuses to the floor. And then even melt fuses, like it actually becomes one with the floor, and I need to go over there and fix that. And then my room, I need to pick up my room and even organize my room and bathroom and then clean it and clean my house. So it's probably just going to take the whole day, but hopefully I can finish so that by tonight, probably by tomorrow, so I can have light. I can take photos and then rent the room, but I don't want to rent my room if I'm sick. So anyways, that's what I'm up to. it was kind of nice though to hang out in here. I was actually hanging out in my living room till 4 in the morning. I naturally am a nocturnalist, so I just lost track of time. Instead of jumping in bed when the sun went down, I just kind of like sat there and was like watching random stuff until like 4 in the morning. I was like, oh shit, I should go lay down. But it's kind of addictive to hang out in my couch in there in my living room because I like doing my videos here. Well, because I don't have one of these. I should get one of these so that I can do videos from there, but I kind of like hanging out here more because I'm outside, but this chair is not comfortable. This is a metal chair. You can't see it. Oh, it's like totally out of it. You can see the very top of it over here. It's a metal chair. I even stubbed my toe on it last month and my toe was dripping blood. I think the drop of blood hit the ground before my foot even hit the ground to walk away. I don't know how that happened because my feet are already hanging off the side of it. So somehow I got up and I just whacked it. But that happened around the same time I got in a bike wreck, and now my wrist still hurts. Almost broke my wrist and my ribs. I went in to lift weights last week or whatever when I first started trying to exercise. It must have been more than that. Yeah, but I could barely bench 135 pounds 3 times. Well, mainly because my muscles, I couldn't do it, but mainly because it was excruciatingly painful. Well, it wasn't that painful. It was really painful because my ribs were hurting and my wrist too. Probably mostly my wrist, but yeah. So hopefully that'll get better. When I push down here, it hurts still. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting that I get sick like right when I try to start getting back in shape. I think that's kind of a well, I mean, it also happened right when I got my house disgusting with animal shit everywhere. But an interesting thing is happening with my tegu. Like, I went in yesterday because my mom comes in here and she's like, yeah. Every time she comes in for the last couple of times, she's like, your place is starting to smell bad. And I guess I can understand because there's, well, ferrets. You know, people would say that about ferrets, and maybe she just can't identify that it's ferret, but like, I go into my tegu cage and I'm like, am I getting sick from that tegu? Because when I was sitting down next to the ferret cage to do work in the ferret cage for like painting it or working, cutting out the floor and then building in the door or attaching the mirrors to the back of it, attaching LED lights and cables, power cables to the back of it and all this kind of stuff. I'm sitting right next to my fireplace, my tegu cage. And a few of the times I forgot to turn off the smoke machine, the fog machine. So there's all this fog billowing over and I'm smelling it and I'm like inhaling and it smells kind of nasty, but it's not so bad that it's bothering me that much. But I'm thinking to myself, am I inhaling like all kinds of nasty stuff? Because like when I first got my tegu, he was in a 30-gallon tank, and he was only like this big. Like he came in this little plastic container this big, and he was like the same size as my leopard gecko. And then he started to get bigger, but he was taking dumps in this little cage, and so I'd have to take the shit out every day. And it's like jet black poop next to like white poop, and it smelled like sickness. It smelled really bad, like the worst shit I've ever smelled. Similar to human shit, but like the shit of like a human who's dying of like worms or something. And so I'd have to, if I don't take that out every day, if you look in, it's just nasty and it like wafts up. So then I throw the tegu into the fireplace, and next thing I know, like, where's the shit? I can't find the shit. This was like months ago. And so yesterday, for the first time, I was like, all right, well, let's try and get that shit. So I go in, open up the thing with my little pooper scooper, and I'm picking up these pieces of the white. You can see the white poop, and that was supposedly is right next to the nasty black stuff, which is what I really want to get out. But um, and it was hard to even get the white stuff because it was like in with the grass. I have grass at this long, so I was chopping grass out as I'm trying to grab at the poop. And he poops in two corners, and I couldn't get to the end corner at the time. I didn't want to, which is where some white stuff is. But I was like, "Where's the poop?" Like all of a sudden, his poop disappears, and now he's like this big. He's like 2 feet long, or more. He's as big as my ferrets almost. And I still like it, and it doesn't even smell that bad. So actually, day before yesterday, he dug these really big holes all the way to the bottom and the two corners where his shit is. And so I don't know. I guess that shit just works perfectly. It like gets neutralized perfectly as it absorbs into the dirt. I hope it doesn't make the tegu sick. I'm eventually like next year, whenever I have the time, after a healthy amount of time goes by, like a year after he gets big and I get ready to do an overhaul, I'm just gonna go into those corners of where his cage is and just take out all of it, extract everything, and then just replace it with completely brand new, fresh sand, half terra fauna. And yeah, just do it that way because where his secondary poop place is only like not much more than a foot away from where he sleeps. So I don't want it to like seep over. It's barely sanitary, or maybe not sanitary. So, but I mean, I keep a good eye on him, and boy, if there ever was a tegu that molts right, it's mine. It took a while for my fireplace to completely saturate the sand, the substrate, but now it's like like it changed color, because I had a lot of I had like a bag maybe this big worth of aspen clippings that are for snakes, aspen shavings, that came with the 40-gallon tank that I bought that I use for my hamsters, which my hamsters never go to. It's funny, like my hamsters, I was watching videos about taking hamsters, like hamsters need lots of space. I hate these KT cages, these little KT cages. Hamsters need more than that. Well, I have a 40-gallon cage that's totally decked out with everything, water, food, and everything, toys and holes and everything. I'm even gonna put a real plant in there. And then like 30 feet of tubes, and then this tiny little KT cage, and the hamsters live in the KT cage. They moved over. So anyway, yeah, so those aspen shavings, were the regular color, like light khaki, like the color of a broomstick. So it was totally different color than the rest of the dirt. And then all of a sudden, I noticed that it was just all the same color because it all just got sopping wet and fell into the dirt. And that the dirt in general is a totally different color. It's like dark brown because it's all sopping wet. And there's all this grass coming up. And I looked in to the bottom, and I even looked at the holes that the tegu dug, and there's no coagulation of water in the bottom. It's just like the perfect humidity. The dirt is just the perfect humidity. It's if you touch the dirt, it's like the dirt you would make a sandcastle with. It's the exact dirt you would want for a tegu, and that's the exact moisture that two humidifiers can do. So it's just perfect balance. I'm starting to cut down a little bit because I used to refill them like 5 times a day, and I was even pouring water in the sand. But now that it's getting colder, and in the winter time, it's gonna evaporate a lot less, and I don't want to get sick and make the place smell bad. So I was thinking about just having one going on at a time, or in order to, but it's easy to regulate because you just look at the color of the dirt. So anyway, so when my tegu goes to bed every night, when he climbs inside of his big cave, and then in his tunnel under the big water bowl, you know, he slithers through the dirt. He's scraping all of his skin away. And every time I look at my tegu, there's not a single piece of shed on him. He's like totally clean. He's glistening red, and you know, all of his fingers and claws are there. I think he's missing a claw from a bad shed from before I even bought him. When I need to look, but yeah, dude, like that tegu is like pampered. So yeah, it's perfect setup that I have going on. The perfect design for a cage, you know, because like, because people, I see people doing videos about tegus and their tutorials, and they're like, look at my cage. You have to keep it humid, so you have to keep it enclosed in like a glass container. But if you had 2 humidifiers going all the time and the smoke couldn't escape, it would get way too humid in there. But I have glass that comes up 6 inches, and then it's just chicken wire. So I can have those things on all the time, and then the smoke just goes out into the room and like dissipates outside because my door's open. And it's dry, so it's perfect, man. And I haven't seen anybody with the design that I have. So I'll do a video about that whenever I get around to it. Those are my birds. I was hanging out with my mom yesterday, and she's like looking at the birds singing just like that. Like they sing like that all day long, all day and all night. That's what I was saying. I was hanging out in my room until 4 in the morning, just like watching the birds. Just like, and then my hamsters, I mean the ferrets would come out, and then I play with the ferrets, and I look over and I see my tegu, because my tegu's nocturnal. He only is out during the night for some reason. He calibrated, and now he can't change. I think he calibrated to me, because I was nocturnal the whole time I was working on my apartment. And maybe my tegu wanted to be outside when I was outside, and now he hasn't realized that he's got it wrong, so whatever. Because he's always asleep. Like he's literally he's like a tegu version of me. If the sun's out, he's not gonna be out. He only comes out if it's night. And he comes out at like 11 at night. And then he goes back in like when the sun rises at like 6 in the morning. It's crazy. So that'd be cool if when he grows up, he finally becomes diurnal, you know? And then like actually becomes a pet, you know? Like at one point, a couple of weeks ago, I saw him standing on top of his ramp, you know? So when he starts doing that, I can just open the door, you know? Because I have a ramp on the outside. So he can leave, come and go as he pleases. So I can just open the door, attach the ramp, and then just kind of like do computer work on my big screen TV in my living room. And because once I get settled in with the bicycling, the training, I can finally start doing maybe like an hour a day on my website. Maybe like 20 minutes of maintenance work for what I do daily with the biking stuff, and then maybe another 40 minutes or an hour on fixing the stuff that I already made. But and then so I can supervise him leaving, you know, watch him leave and then know where he is and know not to step on his tail or to scare him so he whips his tail into something sharp and loses it. Tegus with long tails look way better than tegus with stubby tails, and my tegu's tail is completely intact. All of his fingernails are intact. Like, he looks awesome. So, and I'm going to test the intelligence of a tegu. I'm not really raising my tegu like most people do. Do you see that scar? I like don't heal anymore. It's crazy. Let me tell you the story of that scar. Like 2 months ago when I was working on my house, I was using the drill to like cut something. I think it was for my like ferret cage. I was trying to like, yeah, I was like chopping through a ferret tunnel or whatever with my little Dremel tool, and then or like through a little piece of metal or something. Yeah, I was like chopping through a piece of metal, and then the like piece of metal fell on my leg, just for a second, and then I pushed it off, and I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, oh, burnt, whatever. 2 months later, I've got a big ass scar there. It's crazy. Anyway, um, so yeah, most people when they raise tegus, they're like, you know, you have to tame them. They're not naturally pets. You have to play with them every day, or they are going to be scared of you. But if you play with them every day, they'll be your pet. And I'm like, dude, I don't have the time for that. I'm never going to have the time for that. Like, if I'm going to play with an animal, I'll play with my ferrets. But I got stuff to do, you know. I got that tegu as like to be my friend. I can go and pick him up and pet him and then put him back in or whatever. Have him hang out in the house with me, but I'm not gonna spend time every day to train my tegu. So what I plan on doing is just feeding my tegu. I let him eat. I just give him whatever food I think he needs, and he'll eat it. I don't like hand feed him, and then he takes his time eating. And then every once in a while, you know, I'll like put my hand at him and he'll run, or I'll tap his tail and he'll run like crazy. And basically, that's all. You know, if he wants to continue to be afraid of me, he can, but my guess is he'll become bored as hell in that small cage. And he's eventually going to want to walk outside just to see what's going on, because he'll be smart enough to know that I'm not going to hurt him. And I'm the only person in here, so nothing's going to hurt him. So he might as well travel around, you know. And so he'll get out, and then I could like try to grab him, and he can pretend he's angry with me and run away under the couch or something. But like, what's he going to do? Like, he has to eventually go back in the cage, and he knows where it is. So I could just let him go in the cage on his own, or I could push him there with a broom or try to pick him up. But you know, that'll basically be how I train him, just like as needed, but nothing extraneous. I'm not going to waste any time, but I think that'll be fine. I don't think I'm going to be stuck with a tegu that's never trained. But that's a different way of raising a tegu. That's the realistic way of raising a tegu. You know, if you're going to be able to raise these animals, you can't let them take over your life. You have to still have a life. So the important thing for giving an animal quality of life is giving them a good habitat. And I've got the best habitat. I mean, I haven't seen other people with as much dirt, moist dirt, as I have. There's probably a lot of people who don't even have dirt, you know. I mean, you see tegus, you hear about tegus who lose fingers, you know. I mean, there's people who abuse animals. So my philosophy is if the animal looks healthy, probably is, you know. But anyway, yeah, I was hanging out with my mom, and she's looking at those birds singing to each other. And she's like, "Those birds are so happy." And I was telling her, yeah, I think they're totally happy. I think they're pretty much in their environment, like an exact replica of their environment, other than them trying to eat the fake plants. Yesterday, they were trying to eat my fake plants for a long time, different types, which is cute. My hamsters do that too. But, I mean, parakeets, they're so little. I don't think, they're not like migratory birds. They're probably one of these animals that just pick a tree and just live in that tree. And so they fly around the tree, and that tree has everything they need. So their flying consists of flying from one end into the tree to the other, you know? Unless they have to go to another tree, but they're not gonna fly like 20 trees over just because they want to. Their little wings will get tired. They'll fly to the next tree, and they'll eat there, right? So my birds, my house is like a tree. My entire house is lined with causeway, like the hallway and the kitchen, and then it goes across the middle of it twice. And then I have 5 bicycles that are hung up on the ceiling, so on the wall with their wheels on the ceiling, and that's where they hang out more than anywhere, just on top of my middle bike tire. But and then I have all these wall-mounted shelves and plants, and so real plants. And so the birds can literally fly anywhere and then perch at any corner. And so it's the same thing as living in a tree, because my apartment's about the size of a tree. So the birds don't know any difference. They're right in their element. Perfect in the element birds, perfect in the element ferrets. Ferrets are VIP because they're literally free all the time. I actually let them hang out in my room all the time now. I just felt really bad. Like, I had the door closed to my room last night, and they were both just trying to get into my room, and I'm like, why? And I was finally like, okay, I felt so bad. I just opened the door and let them go in. But I don't want them to pee all over. Like, my whole room is lined with fluorescent green shag rug, you know, with fibers this high. And I don't want them to get me sick by peeing all over. They've got, like, I was playing with my ferret today, and like they say, give your ferrets a bath once a month. Yeah, it's true. Because I gave my ferrets a bath like a month ago or whatever, and they've been starting to get a little bit shaggy looking. And then I picked up my ferret like yesterday, and he had all this like goo like stuck to his back, like dried semen or something. I'm like, where did this come from? Oh, now you're dirty, so yeah, I might have to. But those things are totally in their element. And then my tegu, you know, if you let him walk around my apartment, that's probably enough roaming for a tegu would want anyway. You could just walk back and forth in the apartment and look under things, and he'll be fine, you know, and then he'll go back in his house. It's not like he'll want to start galloping to the next place. So I think all the animals, and the hamster has a 40-gallon tank with 30 feet of tube and then another tank. So all of my animals are just living the best life they could ever live. So, so yeah, it really helps me feel like this, like my apartment is a tree in the forest. I call it the forest apartment. I have wood floors, so when I look at the wood floors, it's like at the dirt. So I live under a tree. And so I look down and it's dirt, and then I have a tree here. And then there's like fake plants all over the place, and the real plants out here. It's awesome. And then I have all these animals. 2 ferrets running around, 2 birds, 2 parrots, a dinosaur, a little lizard, and then I'm gonna have a whole bunch of other animals later on. Oh, fish, a bunch of fish and all that. So anyway, oh my God, I've talked for almost a half hour. So, well, it must mean I'm starting to feel better. Yeah, I've been doing these videos, and then like my commenter, I can't remember his name, my brain is like, show us the goddamn apartment. I'm like, I know. Oh wait, yeah, dumbass, why don't I show the fucking apartment? Jesus Christ, dumbass. I'm like, huge light bulb over my head. Oh wait, how do you flip this? All right, so here we are. We'll end all of my videos showing my apartment, so people know what I'm talking about. Waterfall, statues, tree, axolotl, water frogs, hermit crab, sandfish skink, a null, scorpion, tegu shit spot, That's where he's right now, under the water bowl. That's where he hangs out at night. 40-gallon hamster cage. A ferret cage, 40-gallon hamster cage. Levitation plant, air plant. Bird cage, actual birds. Wee. Dark frog, which I don't have yet. Another cage over there. Gargoyle gecko, which I don't have yet. Ferrets may or may not be in here. I think they are. That's where they hang out more than anywhere. Hallway. With motion activated. Which my mom made me shut off because she doesn't like the sound of it. So I have to get another song. These are, I'm gonna put glowing rocks in there instead of those black rocks. This is where a spider's gonna be. Praying mantis, centipedes, spiders. Got Matchbox cars. Fish, Matchbox cars. Cool colors. Oh look, roommate's room. Fan, aircon, LED lights, storage, cool views out there. I need to do more incense in here. Grow room, grow light, fan, mylar, fan, grow light. My room's a mess. TV, speakers for TV, mirrors, darts for the bob. Bicycles, fire bicycle, color of my hair and my other bicycle. Plants on the wall, hamster. This is where the hamsters hang out. I think that's where they live. Oh yeah, figurines. More figurines. Huh? Lots of lights for the plants. Figurines atop the TV. My TV in my room has that too. Hamster cage. This is where the real plant's gonna go. Remote control car. Oops. There's my remote control aeroplane. Remote control helicopter. Star projector. Star projector here. Star projector here. So 4 star projectors in the living room, 1 in my bedroom and 1 in the roommate's room. So that's my apartment. More figurines on this side. Disco light. I have a disco light in my tiger cage too, which I'll try to put up today. So anyways, that's what my apartment looks like. Talk to you later.